Hey, what's up everybody, welcome back to this commentary playthrough that I'm doing for Final Fantasy X, the HD Remaster Edition. And having defeated every single optional boss the game has to offer, including penance in the last episode, it's time to start wrapping things up. So you might be wondering, you've done everything there is to do, what remains? Well, our itinerary is to get the last few trophies. And these are Theatre Enthusiast, that's easy after the stage. Obtain all Jecht Spheres, Sphere Master and Perfect Sphere Master. Right, so here's how I've decided to do things. I always said that once I had defeated all of the bosses I did want to have one final kind of stroll through Spira so that we could revisit some of the old places and especially the temples that we gain access to for a second time to get some little extra scenes. So that's what we'll be doing. So I'll start in Besaid and I will make my way across all of Spira and I will keep in any of the interesting stuff that happens in between. So during this process I will also collect all of the Jecht Spheres in order to get this trophy. And what I think I'll do, the first episode I will make it a quick fire just showing all of the Jecht Spheres and where to find them. So in case anyone kind of just stumbles upon the video or the playlist and they're not interested in seeing me walk around Spira, they're just here for the Jecht Spheres, then they can see those. But those of you guys that have been following the series, then you guys can pretty much skip that episode and just watch the extended version where I walk around Spira and pretty much find everything. So you'll also notice that I don't have the Sphere Master trophies, and even though I said I'm not going to get those, I decided that this walkthrough has been so kind of in-depth and I've tried to do everything there is to do, so it would be a shame if I didn't actually show you guys the Platinum Trophy. So what I've been doing off screen for the last few days is working slowly on getting everyone round the sphere grid, and Tidus, Waka and Riku are ready. So these three are done. But everyone else, because I haven't been, I didn't stat max for these guys, they still have a little way to go. But I would say maybe 2-3 hours, 4 hours max, I should probably be done with the sphere grid for everyone. And when that happens, then I'll get the sphere grid master trophies as well. So that's likely to be the final episode where I actually get those. And I'm thinking about defeating the final boss one more time just for kicks, because a few people have asked for it. So I'll probably use Yuna, Lulu and Kimari to defeat the final boss, just to see how hilarious things become when your stats are maxed. And then we will wrap up the series and it will be time to say goodbye. So we still have a little bit to do before then, and I suggest we get going in Besaid, because not only is there a Jecht Sphere there, we can also enter the temple, because we've defeated Dark Valor. So we're pretty much going to revisit most of the locations Spira has to offer, because there are Jecht Spheres in almost all of them. So that's a good thing, and we'll get to check out some additional things.
Here we go!
To be honest, this is something I've never done. Like I've said before, usually I do this kind of stuff and then I do all of the optional side bosses, so by the time I've defeated penance there's nothing more for me to do, and I tend not to go around Spira. So that means that there's a chance that I have missed some scenes or some interesting conversations. So very important, let me make sure I equip something peaceful here. Yep. Okay. So we're no longer going to be disturbed by random encounters. Okay. To be honest, I forget where the Besaid Aurochs are training. So this will be a little bit interesting because we've defeated the Dark Aeons, and I've already discussed, I think in the Penance video I share like a pretty long theory that I have about the Dark Aeons based on my own, opinion and stuff that I've read online. So you can check that out, but it's going to put the Dark Aeons in a slightly weird context now when we go back into Besaid. And once this playlist is all over, then it's going to be Final Fantasy X-2. But I intend to take a little break first, because this has been intense. It's been almost 2.5 months now, so I do need a break. It has taken me a long time, but hopefully it has been effective in showing you everything that you need to succeed with this game anyway. Like I said, there's still things that I've left out, and what I'll do for the final part, I will share with you guys some of the best resources that are around in terms of guides. So a lot of people have said, okay, you know everything about this game. I mean, it's true that I do know a lot of things about this game, but the reason I know a lot of things about this game is A, because I've played it so many times, and B, because I've read so many fantastic guys that were written by, you know, people that knew much more about the game than I did a few years ago. So probably having read most of the guides, I probably know more than most people now. But you know, there was a time when I hardly knew anything, and the guides that these guys produced really helped me to understand a lot of different aspects of the game. So I will definitely be giving those guys and their guides a shout out when I get to the end, because it is most certainly not all just off the top of my head, that's for sure. Alright, here we go, Besaid Village. I think Gata should be back here. We should be able to see him. Okay. Old lady, or Bachan. When the calm comes, we'll be putting up a statue of a new high summoner. Yeah, okay. Well, now that we know the end of the story, I wonder if that happens in Final Fantasy X too. I forget. Okay, let's talk to this woman. Okay, so obviously because of where we are in the story, Sin hasn't been defeated yet, so it's still kind of, there's still confusion with Yevon. I forget. I think, yeah, Maester Micah's already vanished at this point, so. Okay, let's talk to Gata.
I hear Sin made a big mess of Bavel, eh? The far plains ringing with Luzu's laughter, I bet.
Is that it? Nothing more to say?
Just a little more and Sin is finished.
Man, I feel sorry for that guy. He's kind of all on his own. Are Gata and Luzu brothers? I don't think they are, but... Well, it is a village and it's a very small community, so there might be, but... I don't think there's anything to really indicate that they are, but... Okay, Jecht Sphere number 1. It's over here. So you will need to defeat Dark Valifor in order to get it. Let's see what it's all about.
Smallest heap of huts I ever seen.
Now, that looks like a fine place to live. Orin.
My lord?
When this is over, could you bring Yuna here? I want her to lead a life far away from this conflict.
You have my word. I will bring her here.
Thank you, Orin. You're a good friend.
What are you guys doing? Let's go! I'm so hungry I could eat a shoe puff whole.
Sorry. Well, let's go then.
So obviously now that we know what Tidus's Zanarkand looks like, obviously compared to that it's a complete kind of polar opposite, so you can see why Jecht feels the way that he does. It's pretty cool. And again, Orin, just such a loyal companion. It's unreal. So obviously these Jecht Spheres are going to help to piece together the story of... okay, alright, let me talk about this for a sec. So yeah, we get to fill in more of the backstory on Jecht, Braska and Orin and how their journey went 10 years ago. So through these spheres we'll get a few more tidbits of information and we'll find out more about their kind of relationship and what happened to them as they travel through Spira. So already we can see that they kind of took a different route to what we did, because they came kind of in the opposite direction. So Besaid was not the first temple that they visited. So interesting. Because then they kind of had to go all the way back towards Zanarkand, which is on the complete opposite side. So it's a bit of a long-winded journey, but there you go. So this little girl here, no one will try and stop you now. So I think, you know, they've tried to make sense of the Dark Aeons here. Remember I said that that I believe the Dark Aeons are kind of something that Yevon has helped in sending down here. And it's these Yevonites that obviously are followers of Yevon that have tried to stop us from gaining access to the temple after we were branded as traitors with the whole Seymour shenanigans. So it's a bit weird that just because we defeated Dark Valifor, suddenly we've managed to clear our name and now we're kind of allowed back into the temple just because we defeated that. So either they're just too scared of us now because they've seen us defeat Dark Valifor and they don't want to mess with us, or for some reason we're forgiven now because we defeated the Dark Aeon. I don't know how that stops us from being traitors, but okay. So let's head in. I think you have to do... okay. I think you have to do the Cloister of Trials again. This is something I haven't done in years, but I do believe if you do the Cloister of Trials again, you should get an additional scene. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Oh boy. Alright, let's head in. And if this is a fail, then obviously I will edit this out. Well, I'm going to edit it out anyway, you don't need to see the Cloister of Trials again. So just as a reminder, if you guys want to get Anima, the optional Aeon, and you need all of the destruction spheres, obviously, let's say the first time you forgot, but you did manage to defeat Dark Valifor, then obviously you can come back into the temple and you can try again in order to get the destruction sphere. So Anima is not in any way missable in this game. You can always go back to get it. But because we already have all of the destruction spheres, we don't have to mess around with that kind of stuff, so the Cloister of Trial should be a little bit quicker now. So just remember that you can come back once you've defeated the Dark Aeon that blocks the way. Alright, let's see. I haven't seen this cutscene in years. As far as I know, once you go into the Chamber of the Fayth, obviously now that we know how Yevon works, it's not so much of a taboo anymore to just head into the Chamber of the Fayth. And obviously Tidus has a bit of a special relationship with the Fayth, as you guys already know. So now we can actually enter the chamber, and there should be some treasure chests in there, from what I remember. The items in it won't be too useful at this stage, after you've defeated the Dark Aeons and that kind of stuff. But oh well.
Sin is cursed. Sin prays. It curses its form. It prays for dissolution. Sin sees dreams of its own destruction. Sin is looking at us. We live in a fading echo of time left us by the Destroyer. Free him from you, Yevon. Free him. The faith that has become sin.
There we go. So Evasion Sphere. And obviously proof, if it was needed, that Valifor is indeed a female Aeon. So we get to see the Fayth as well. And obviously she's talking about Jecht when she says that the Fayth that became sin wants to be freed. So there you go. So these are the kind of little scenes that we're going to be able to get when we revisit the temples. So we're now done with Besaid. It's time to head to Kilika. Because while we're heading towards Kilika, we're going to get the next Jecht Sphere, and also we'll get to head into the temple there as well. And I'm not sure if we can meet Donna again, because I think Donna lives in Kilika, so we might be able to see Donna as well, though I'm not sure. I could swear there was a scene with Gata. I must be mistaken. I thought there was a scene where he's kind of in charge of a few different guys or something. No?
I hear Sin. The far plane.
It must mean that scene's a missable one. I'll have to look into that scene because I'm sure I remember there was something about Gata kind of becoming a bit of a leader when it comes to the Crusaders. If despite this whole final tour around Spira I've still missed any cutscenes or anything like that, I apologise. But I mean, although my knowledge is extensive, there is obviously things I could have missed. It's possible. It's live commentary, and obviously in terms of searching for post-game cutscenes, that's not something I've ever done in any detail, so there is a chance I'll still miss some very small things, but I'm doing my best to make sure that I get everything in terms of story. So we'll be talking to Machen again. He's going to be in Gagazet, so when we reach Gagazet we're going to talk to him one more time. He should give us a little bit more information as well. and we're going to visit the far plane again and that kind of stuff. So hopefully, by the end of this stroll through Spira, we should have everything. And I think this path is blocked in Final Fantasy X2 as well. Is there ever any situation where you can actually enter this path? I'm not sure I remember. I don't think there's ever a scenario where you can go in there. So I'm not sure why the map gives that to you. It just shouldn't exist, really. So yeah, it'd be a nice chance for you guys to get a final look at Spira as well, because then we can kind of compare and contrast better when it comes to how things change in Final Fantasy X-2. Okay, here we are once again, and one thing I was going to say that we haven't been able to find the Besaid Aurochs, but I think they're in Luca. They should be in the locker room, because that's where we went to get the Jupiter Crest, and I think they're still there. So that's where we'll find them. Is there anyone? I think there's someone down here. It's Darren! No! That's Darren, I know it. He's just changed his name. I'm sure of it. There, you're going to have to settle for a sea-going one. Yep, let's go. So I believe there should be another Jecht Sphere here in the bridge. Oh, there's a chocobo as well. Okay, let's have a quick stroll around, see if there's anyone.
Nice to see you again.
You really quit the Knights?
Yeah, I did. Elma was upset with me, but Captain Lucille understood. Now I'm working as a chocobo breeder on this ship. I really, really love taking care of chocobos. Being with chocobos all the time, I think I found my calling. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Oh, yeah. I found this in one of the chocobo nests the other day. It's no use to me, so I want you to have it.
Oh, wow.
I have to go now. It's time for lunch.
Hey, I want to talk to you some more. Can't your stomach wait?
I meant I have to feed the chocobos. They get really upset if they're not fed. See ya!
Oh, I love that little guy. What a legend. I'm gonna be honest here and say I have never seen that cutscene before, because I've never bothered. I mean, I've got the Jecht Sphere and I've usually just run off. So this is what I'm talking about. Is these kind of little scenes that I want to see before I finish this playthrough. So even if we, never managed to defeat Sin, at least we would have done one piece of good in Spira, and we would have helped Clasko to find his calling. So that's pretty cool. Okay, maybe her husband was Mep from Kilika. Okay, I think we've run out of interesting stuff here. But I mean, even seeing Clasko was enough for me. Is that Curie? No. There's a blitzer called Curie that looks like her. She has the same character model. Kids, stop! Stop! No! Alright, I'll just join in for a bit. They're too quick. Okay, so I think there's nothing else interesting up here, unless maybe there is. I'm scared not to go anywhere now in case the Clasko thing happens and suddenly a cutscene appears. So I need to be careful. Okay, let me head in and get the second Jecht Sphere. Okay, here we go. So if you get on the boat from Besaid to Kilika and you go to the bridge, then you will see this Jecht Sphere lying here. So let's take a look. I guess we're kind of looking at it in reverse order somewhat. Chronologically anyway.
After you get that Aeon from Besaid, where are we going?
Back the way we came. Then we go north from Bavel and climb Mount Gagazet. Beyond it lies Zanarkand.
Zanarkand, huh? It's been in ruins for 1,000 years, right?
So the legends say. No one knows for sure. It still could be your Zanarkand.
Thanks for trying, Orin. I thought if I went with you guys, I might find a way to go back. But it's not that easy.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize, Braska. It's not your fault. I should be thinking about fighting Sin now anyway. Zanarkand can wait. But I will find my way back.
Be careful, Jecht.
Hey, I'll be alright. You're the one that should be careful. Wouldn't want your little girl to cry.
She'll be all right. She's strong, like her mother was.
It's amazing how different the relationship between them is. But it's really nice to see the same parallels that we're seeing with Tidus. The whole, wanting to go back to Zanarkand, but then he realizes that, not only is it probably never going to happen, but he has, he's part of something very important in Spira, and that he needs to stay to complete his job. So yeah, after watching these, I always like Jecht a little bit more because it helps you to really, get his story into perspective. And I like the way he says I'll find a way back, and well, technically he does find a way back, but he kind of destroys his own town. So it seems that we can't go down and check out the rooms downstairs, so I think that conversation with Clasko was a one-time. So we have to just rest, and then when we wake up we're in Kilika. So I guess that's it for this boat.